Change your mind, MST Systems. Going to talk to you today about my 2 worst ever career-ending, told life-changing injuries and how I came back from them and what you guys can take away and learn from it. So, first things first, start with the first one. I 90% detached my proximal hamstring from my right leg during a back squat in a competition, a rack back squat, 365 kilo I think it was, or 360, something like that. And on the eccentric, I got about halfway down, I felt a huge rip underneath my glute. Your proximal hamstring's at the top of your hamstring, by the way, and it like ripped, and it felt like it ripped around my adductor, under my gooch and under my hamstring, and my right leg just felt like someone turned it off. So I fell to the right. There was no safety chains, no safety catches. The spotters obviously weren't expected to happen so quick, and if you're a side spotter and I fall to the right, the bar hits you and you can't do much, you know what I mean? It was a bit of a freak incident, so I ended up falling all the way to the floor with the barbell. Head hit my foot, which I'm not mobile enough to do, so I had all the gammy hip and TFL and everything. It was a really, really bad injury, and I'm going to talk about the 2 injuries together because the protocol I used to recover from them is very similar. So that's the first injury there. And the second one, I was a little bit less dramatic in terms of incident, but I was in the gym on my own, and it was during lockdown, only 6 or so months ago, and I re-racked a squat. I ended up like knocking the rack over by accident. I was on like a little shitty flimsy rack. I fell, and as you can see from my hand, I'm not sure if that's focused in, is it, Joe Sco?
Just focus on, hold on, let me zoom as well. Yeah, give me a little spin.
So I've got the scar on the back where it was crushed, and then as you can see my little finger and this ring finger's a bit gammy, they don't really straighten properly anymore. And I've got a big surgery intervention there all the way down. A full hand reconstruction I had. Basically the pin of the barbell, so the pin on the rack where you put the barbell went through the bottom of my hand, and 265 kilo came down the top, pushed it straight through, dislocated my little finger. I needed full reconstruction of all my tendons and ligaments and nerves in my hand, as well as I fractured the top. So basically I absolutely messed my hand up. Now, both these injuries, there was one thing in common. Okay, as soon as I did them, I was told, yeah, you ain't gonna lift weights again, not to the level of which you've been lifting in the past, because obviously as a high level lifter, everything has to be right for you to lift the kind of numbers that we lift at these kind of body weights. And having a hamstring injury that's so drastic is gonna alter everything. So like your glutes, your pelvis position, just being able to brace and hold, everything's gonna change. So I was told, because apparently you can't come back from these things. Now, the protocol I used for both of these things was basically, by the way, before I say this, I'm not telling everybody to do the exact same thing I did. I'm just telling you about my mindset and the way I work in my brain and how I apply myself as an athlete and as a coach. So as soon as these people told me that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, I do not care what you say, because I truly believe that through strength training over the years, that my body and your body, if you're also in the same boat, if you're obsessed with strength training and progressing your nervous system and your physiological adaptations as much as I am, then you're a little bit different to Joe Bloggs. You're a little bit different to the person on the street who does these injuries, and you're able to adapt and respond, and your body's able to come back from things a little bit more extreme than the average person. So the protocol I used for both of these rehab injuries was to ignore all of the advice I got given, which was rest it and leave it, and do the opposite, which was move it and train it. So my hand, for example, I couldn't even pick up a cup. I didn't have the grip strength to pick up a cup. But I'd try 100 times a day to pick up that cup, and then eventually after a week I could pick up a cup. And then I moved on to, I think it was like a bottle of detergent or something. I just was trying to, a bit of Lenore, I was just trying to pick it up. And again, it sounds silly, but I was just doing it every 5 minutes, trying to pick it up, trying to use it, trying to get stronger, and just progress linearly, just adding more weight from the little tea mug to the Lenore thing, and then move on to something else. And by doing this approach on my hand, it got better a lot quicker than what I was told, I would see progress in. They told me I'd maybe be able to make a fist in about 2 months, and I was making a fist in about, I think it was about 20 days or something. They told me that I shouldn't load anything in my hand. I shouldn't lift any weight whatsoever. And on my third appointment with the doctor, I was like, yeah, I benched 140 last week. And he was like, what the fuck? Because I'm not supposed to even be able to hold any load in my hand. Now, is it the most sensible thing to do in the world, go against your doctor's advice? No, I'm not telling you to do that. But what I'm telling you is that not everybody knows the answer. Not everybody knows the exact direction your life, your path's going to go in. Now, I stand here confident that one day I'm going to be one of the strongest men in the world than 90 kilos. I believe that's going to happen. Now, if I blow a hammy, if I crush my hand, it doesn't faze me. I'm just like, I know that eventually I'm going to get to where I want to be. I just have to overcome certain obstacles. And I think keeping a positive mindset and keeping strong up top is the number one priority, because whichever rehab strategy you choose, like I say, I chose the I'm going to move it and use it method. So even on my hamstring, like literally 3 days after the injury, I was doing hamstring curls with, well, it wasn't even hamstring curls. I actually started off, all I could do was bring my heel to maybe 5 inches up my bed. So I'd be led in my bed trying to bring my heel to my bum basically. I had the strength to go about 3 inches. And again, I just do sets of 20 and try and go further each time. Within a week or two, I was in the gym doing hamstring curls and just linearly progressing things and getting stronger. So for me, whichever rehab method you decide to go, whatever you research, whatever you believe in is going to work for yourself, the main thing to take from this video is to just fuck anyone that says you're not going to get there. Because if you just believe and choose your path, you're going to go in the right direction. And yes, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, I talk like I've got this rock solid mindset. And of course there are times there where for a couple of minutes I'm sat there thinking, you know what the hell if it doesn't come back? What the hell if I don't recover? Yeah. But then, 2-3 minutes later I snap out of it and just crack on with my life. And I think keeping that strong, solid mindset and just being obsessed with making sure that you prove everyone wrong, like use it as a bit of fuel to the fire, you know what I mean? Just if the people are saying, no, you're not going to do it, it makes me want to go, yeah, fucking I'm even more. And one of the other things that you need to take into account is setting a realistic time frame for these things. So, do your research into your injury, whatever it is, and look at like what is expected of you, and make sure you have that as like what you're thinking is your minimum time of recovery. If you recover before that, then great, but set what people say is the minimum. So if they say it's going to take 12 weeks, then that's the minimum time. It might take 18 weeks, and that's okay, but 12 weeks minimum is when you're going to start trying to like push things. So don't rush it. Go slow, go linear, keep strong mentally, and like I say, nobody can tell you what's going to happen in the future. Nobody can say that you're not going to be able to lift again. Nobody can say that you're not going to be able to perform well again, because no one fucking knows. Now, final thing I want to end on is just for everyone that's watching that maybe has an injury and you've been strength training a long time, understand that you have done something with your body. You've taken yourself to a place that most people don't get to experience. You've changed your nervous system. You're almost like fucking Superman. Like the things that you can do, the way your nervous system can contract, your proprioception, your awareness of center of gravity and where mass sits in on your body, in your wrists, through your feet, on your shoulders, everything. You're in tune with your body so much more than Joe Blogs, which is why I do not believe that we can't come back from crazy injuries. Because if we've taken our body to this level that most people do not understand, unless you're an elite athlete, you do not understand what it feels like to be walking around as one. Because if I want to explode, bang, I know exactly what to do. My foot moves, my hip moves, everything, and I'll go. I'm fast and I'm efficient. You tell Joe Blogs to just sprint, he doesn't do it. He just moves like a fucking lettuce in the wind. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. We're a different breed. We're a different animal. And you need to accept that and embrace it. And when someone gives you some shit advice, just think, you don't know what you're on about. You're giving advice to a wet lettuce, and I'm a fucking savage, motherfucker.